What's up, YouTubers? This is Bobby with Spitting the Truth, and I'm here to do the series of best hip-hop albums from the 80s that are my favorites. Now, I'm not going to go into the 90s because, there's a lot of other stuff that's in there. I'm just going to stick with the best old-school 80s hip-hop albums that I own and that are my favorites. You're going to notice that there isn't any Beastie Boys, and though I like the Beastie Boys, they don't enter this one. Okay, first off, to start off, this one is a classic. Run DMC. If you do not own this album and you are a hip-hop fan, you need to immediately pick it up. I mean, It's Like That, Sucker MCs, Jam Master Jay, Hollis Crew. This was one of the classic albums. This album turned me on to hip-hop. And if you're familiar with this album, you already know. Perfect. Tone Loc. If you don't know about Tone Loc, come on, Funky Cole Medina, Wild Thing. This one was a classic and played on every dance floor in the 80s. This was a good record to have. What else can I say about Eric B. and Rakim? Paid in Full. This one's a classic. And to this day, Rakim is one of the best lyricists hip-hop has ever seen. Paid in Full. One of the best hip-hop albums ever. Pulling from another Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader. When this album first came out, oh, man. It was just nuts. Microphone Fiend, Follow the Leader. Just a Beat. God. I must have wore this cassette tape out and this record out when it first came out. Great record. Follow the Leader. And here's one that not a lot of people are familiar with, but if you were freaking spinning on cardboard in the 80s, you knew about this one. La Trim. Grab it. Solid album. And if you don't know the Cars That Go Boom, you need to grab this album right now. Another one from Run DMC, Raising Hell. Mobile Fidelity actually reissued this at 45 RPM, but why bother? The original press is the way to go on this, and this album is just as classic as any of them. Run DMC, Raising Hell. I mean, this had tracks like, It's Tricky, My Adidas. I mean, in the 80s, these cats had everybody wearing Adidas. Another album that happens to be one of my favorites is, now this album when it came out blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I must have played this record 100 times. Mantronics in Full Effect. This freaking record. Oh. John Me Please, Gangster Boogie in Full Effect, Get Stupid, Simple Simon. Do you like Mantronics? Do you like that track, man? Jesus. These guys put out tons and tons of good albums. If you don't have In Full Effect, you need to pick it up for one of the greatest 80s hip-hops. And how can we talk about 80s hip-hop without Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five? The Message. With the sample they pulled from Simon D. Great album. She's Fresh, It's Nasty, Scorpio, It's a Shame, Dreamin', You Are. Classic album. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Gotta talk about the Sugar Hill Gang, even though this came out, I think, in 79 or whatever, but this is part of the 80s because this was playing at every hip-hop house in the 80s. Sugar Hill Gang. Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Groove, Rapper's Reprise, Here I Am. Great record, and if you're a fan of hip-hop, it's one to own. Another classic, Cool Mo D, How You Like Me Now. This one, the big album off this record was Wild Wild West. No Respect, Get Paid, Don't Dance, Suckers. This album was awesome. Came out in Jive in 87. Great record. Don't have it, gotta pick it up if you're a fan of hip hop. Another classic. Public Enemies, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Now, there are a lot of people who are not fans of Chuck D. You know, a lot of people, you know, don't like Flavor Flav. But Flavor Flav's from Vegas, so we got to represent. That's where he lives now. Classic hits like Bring the Noise, Don't Believe the Hype, Countdown to Armageddon, Prophets of Rage, Can I Get a Witness? I mean, this record is a classic and belongs in every hip-hop fan's record catalog. Public Enemy. And we're going to have to rip off a few classics here that you need to by who else but LL Cool J. Bad. This record got many of lyricists into hip-hop. I mean, with I'm Bad, Get Down, Breakthrough, I Need Love. I mean, that's the song all the girls like. But this record, classic. Another LL Cool J, Walking with the Panther. Another classic. This one has big old butt, dropping them, smoking doping, clap your hands. If you're that type of guy, 1-900 LL Cool J, and the classic hit that everybody knows, They Jinglin' Baby. Great record. And before they started having the black parental advisory sticker, they had this. A little sticker right there that says explicit lyrics. Great record. Walking with the Panther. And radio. I can't live without my radio. I mean, what else can you say, man? Rock the Bells. I Want You. This album has everything. It has bangers and it has, you know, ballads. Great record. Classic hip-hop jam from the 80s. Radio. This is the only album that I'll have that goes to 1990, but it kind of goes in because it was right at the end of 89, 90. And that's LL Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out. This is the newer version they have of it, the Punisher version that comes on red vinyl. I had to get this because I wore out my original copy of it. But LL Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out. If you don't have that record and you're a hip-hop fan, you need to copy your copy. Because it's another fabulous. Now that's to wrap it up for favorite 80s hip-hop records. Maybe I'll do one on 90s, but so far, that's the best 80s hip-hop records around. I'm Bobby, and this is Spitting the Truth, and I'm out. Hope to see you YouTubers again.